So, you want to get started making social media video content for your business, but you've got all these reasons why you can't start, why you shouldn't start, and all of this. Well, we're going to go through 6 of those common reasons or excuses, if you don't mind me saying, in this video, and I'm going to show you how to overcome them, what to do about them, so you can get started today. The first one is that people say they don't have an audience, so there's no point in them making content. Well, of course, you don't have an audience. You haven't made any content yet. This is a bit of an easy one to get across. You've got to start making content in order to build the audience. If you look at any of your favorite people on social media, the people with the big followings and all of that, they all started somewhere. They all started with 0 followers. If you're watching this video right at the start of our YouTube channel, this is one of our very first videos, you'll probably see that we have a very small audience at the moment as well, but we're getting started, and that is the key. So don't worry that you haven't got an audience. It's probably a good thing at the moment. If you don't, if you don't mind me saying, I'm saying this to myself as well, because you're going to get better at making the content. You're going to get better at being on camera, and all of the production and everything that you do. So it's probably not a bad thing that there aren't too many people. Get started, and you'll start to build that audience. You'll start to see what people want, and it will become easier over time. The second excuse that people tell me is that they don't want to keep repeating the same message. They only have a few things to talk about, and that's perfectly fair enough. We don't all have infinite things to talk about here on social media. Point is, though, that you need to actually repeat your message. Even if you look at some of the biggest people on social media, they only actually have like sort of 5, 6, 7 core messages, and they're repeating them over and over again in different ways. And that's the thing. Sometimes when you tell people your message, you're trying to help them with something, it's going to resonate. Other people, it won't resonate. But when you tell it in a different way the next time or the time after that, it will resonate with them. So it's okay to repeat your message. And actually, you have to repeat your message. You have to keep repeating your core messages to people over and over in different ways so that they understand it. Also, don't forget that people are scrolling through gazillions and gazillions of videos and social media posts every day. They're not going to always see your message each day. It's not like every one of your followers is going to see it every time. So it's okay to keep repeating it, and hopefully your message will get out there to the people that need to hear it, because remember, you're putting out useful, helpful content. The third excuse that people use is that it's just not perfect enough. It's just not quite good enough. Well, the thing is, you've got to start getting it out there. You've got to start doing it. So just get over the fact that it's not quite perfect, okay? Because by doing it and getting started, you're going to get better at it. You're going to get better at being in front of the camera. You're going to get better at filming and the camera angles and the lighting and everything that you use. You just have to make a start. And even if it's 70%, just get it out there, and you're going to start to get some feedback on the messages as well, the things that you're talking about. People are going to tell you what they like hearing about. The important thing is to get your message out there. Don't worry about it being absolutely 100% perfect, because nothing ever is. If you wait for it to be 100% perfect, it's probably never going to get there, and you're never going to put anything out. So please, just get your message out there. Don't wait until your production is 100% perfect. We want to hear from you. The fourth thing I hear from people is that they're not creative. Well, I just think that is not true. I think everyone's creative. It might be that you haven't practiced creativity in a long time, but I promise you, you are creative, and you will start to come up with ideas. Look, I used to be an aerospace engineer. I used to be sitting at a desk in an engineering office on a spreadsheet for 8 to 10 hours a day, analyzing aircraft components. It was pretty much seemed to me at the time to be the least creative job I could do. And I used to tell myself I'm not creative. And I told myself that for years. And then I discovered photography, and I started sort of playing around and taking pictures. And all of a sudden I was building that creative muscle. You can do the same. I'm not saying that you necessarily need to become a photographer or a videographer or whatever, but you have got a spark of creativity in you. You've just got to start practicing and start using it. So give yourself permission to call yourself creative. I'll give you permission now if it helps. Call yourself creative and just go and have a practice, have a go, start creating things, because whatever you do now, I bet there's an element of creativity. Even when I was in engineering, and I was saying I didn't feel like I was doing anything creative, I was actually solving engineering problems and coming up with solutions, and that is an act of creativity. It's different, of course, to sitting and painting a watercolor, but it's still an act of creativity. So there's something creative about what you do. So just get over that fact that you think you're not creative. You are, I promise. Just have a go and get started. The fifth excuse that I see people making for not getting started with posting social media content, whether that is videos or photos or even just text, is that I haven't got time to post to all the social media platforms. You don't have to post to all the social media platforms. I've had countless conversations with people where they're just struggling to get started with posting their content because someone's come in and told them, "Oh yeah, you need to post to LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter or X and TikTok, and you've got to do it all. And here's the way that you do all of this." And usually, those people, I'm sorry to say, are people that have come in to do a free workshop on marketing to try and help them. But actually, what they're doing is they're showing them how overwhelming it is in the hope that they'll book them to do it for them because they've got all these platforms to post to. So I see people who are really stuck with getting started because they're like, I don't know how to post to all the platforms, and I've got to maybe slightly change the format for all of these platforms. Well, you don't. Just start with one platform, and I promise you, it will build from there. Just pick one platform that works for you and focus on that. Double down on it, practice it, and just see how you get on with that one. Now, how do you pick the platform that works best for you? Well, for me, it's got to do two things. First of all, your target market has to be sort of hanging out there. So, if you're more B2B, then probably it's LinkedIn, it might be TikTok. If you're a bit more B2C, it might be Instagram and TikTok. Have a look at what platforms are going to work for you in terms of where your target market is hanging out. The second thing that I think is really important is that you enjoy being on that platform, because if you don't enjoy it, it's going to be a slog and you're not going to do it. You need to pick one that you actually enjoy. So have a bit of a play with them and see, perhaps you already use some to follow people and stuff and you enjoy them already. Maybe that's the right one to pick. But ideally, it's got to do both of those two things and they've got to intersect. The thing is, though, once you start using any of the platforms, you will begin to enjoy it a bit more, because I think enjoyment comes with when you're confident at doing something, and your confidence comes from familiarity and actually doing it and practicing. So get started with one platform. Don't worry about the rest of them for now. They can come later. Get into that one, start posting, start practicing, and you will see how it grows from there. Finally, especially with video content, people say, I don't like being on camera. What do I do if I just don't like being on camera? And I heard some advice on this, and it sounds kind of harsh, but I'm going to say it anyway. Don't be selfish. You have got access to a load of knowledge and information that we want to hear. We want to hear from you because we're interested in what you do, and we might be interested in your product or service that you provide as well. So just get over the fact that you don't like being on camera and just have a go at it. I know it's hard to start with because I started somewhere as well. The first time I put my phone up to my face and started recording a social media video, I felt very uncomfortable. There was no one else in the room, but I felt like everyone was watching me, and I was thinking about all the people that were going to be watching me on social media and criticizing me and everything. But the fact is, as we said at the very start, you probably don't have much of an audience already anyway. So that's not a big problem. There aren't going to be hundreds of people watching it. And secondly, people just generally don't think that. They want to hear what you're talking about, and they're not going to be critical of you. So have a go, all right? Just get over the fact that it's difficult to do and you don't like doing it, you don't like being on camera. I know, I've been there before as well. Please just have a go. And that brings me on to just the final point I wanted to make, which isn't an excuse, but I just wanted to say that starting is magic. Okay? It's the hardest part of anything, really. It's just that initial, just getting over the line and making a start. Once you make a start, you're going to get better. You're going to learn how to do it. You're going to learn how to be on camera. You're going to learn how to do the lighting and the audio and where to shoot. And your message is going to improve as well. You're going to have more ideas as you start doing it. You start doing one video, it's going to generate you 2, 3, 4, 5 more ideas just from that video. People start commenting back, they're going to give you ideas of what they want to hear about as well. So starting is magic. Give it a go. Get over all the reasons and excuses for not doing it. You want this to work, just have a go and tag me in, and I would love to see your posts. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this, please hit subscribe, please ring the notification bell, and please share it with your colleagues and anyone else you think might benefit from seeing. We'll see you next time.